Audio Jungle.
Are you, sir? Yeah, hello. Who's this guy? Bravo Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate enough here today. Welcome to Off the Cuff with me, Joey Rasdien, and we're fortunate enough today to have a guy that you guys probably don't even know. We had to do some research and stuff because that time there wasn't social media and TV, so we didn't know what he achieved. But please welcome there all the way from the other side, Bravo Jacobs. That's not his real name, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's Desmond Jacobs, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, it's Desmond Jacobs.
Yeah, it's correct.
Yes, Desmond Jacobs. So my first question to you, Mr. Jacobs, is where did the name Bravo come from? I have a feeling I know where the name came from, but I want you to tell the viewers where the name came from, Bravo.
No, it was in Southend where I grew up. And there was a movie playing at the Palace Bicycle. And then it was a Western. It was called Rio Bravo. So we went to play football on the Victoria Park. And then I scored 2 goals. And then the guys on the line just shouted, Bravo, Bravo. And that name stuck. That's how I...
So that's how Rio Bravo. Oh, so you played soccer back then, back in the day.
Soccer and cricket.
Yeah, but soccer, but you we'll get to the cricket. So firstly, you also from Galvindale, right?
I'm actually from I'm from Southend, right? But when we moved to Corsten.
Right.
Now I'm staying in Galvindale.
Corsten. Corsten is a hectic place, isn't it? Is that like Katanga?
No, not at all.
Very so it's not like...
No, it's okay.
It's very Okay. So I'm gonna get straight into this interview because there's lots of stuff to speak about. Number one, in 1976, you played for wait, let us just I made some notes here. So in 1976, you played for the South African Invitation 11 against the International Wanderers, right? And the South African Invitation 11, there was 2 non-whites.
Yes.
It was you and who else?
Devdas Govinji.
Devdas Govinji. Yes. Now my question to you is, Uncle Bravo Jacobs, why the hell did you go play with the white people in 1976?
I can tell you that we didn't go on our own. We went, the union took us over, right? And then what happened was, because we played there, we had to amalgamate the teams. I can remember the teams. It was Albany, Stardust, and Aryans. 3 teams, and we made 1 team. And we played in the first team, right? But that is how we played there, because we didn't go out of our own. Because I know there was Secos that time, you see. And
yes.
Yes, right. And we definitely didn't go out of our own. A lot of players, they took the whole union over. There were some guys that stayed. Now, me being a sportsman, you know, you very young, and you know, when it comes to politics, you know, you're very naive. You know, you don't know. Yes, naive. Yeah, you see, and you don't really know what is right and what is wrong. You know, because you just want to play the game. You see, and I think that's what happened. You know, during my sporting career, something which I regret. You know, something that I asked for apologies. I sent a letter to Kaya, and I sent a letter to my black brothers. I even coached them afterwards to say I'm so sorry that I disappointed them.
You see, guys, ladies and gentlemen, people from Galvindale, this is what we need in our society. But there was one guy that was in that team of the South African Invitation 11. I liked him a lot. He was a white guy, Vince van der Bijl. Tell me, how is that guy as a person?
A very, very nice guy. Actually, you know, I faced him in the nets before we played. And he's so tall that when he puts the ball on the pitch, you know, if you don't get behind the ball, you're going to get caught behind the wicket. That's the way he's so good. He was. He's very good. You know.
Because that team was a gun team. That was like a gun team. That was like the same, basically the same team that beat Australia 4-0.
I can't remember, you know,
It
but I
was
think
Eddie Barlow, Barry Richards, Eddie Barlow, Barry Richards, Clive Rice, Graham Pollock, Lee Irvine, yourself, HD, Hilton Ackerman, Vince van der Bijl. So all these guys played against
Doug Nielsen and Tick Smith.
Okay, Doug Nielsen and Titch Smith.
Yes.
Was Titch Smith the wicket keeper?
Wicket keeper.
Yeah, okay. So you was also a colored bra?
No. It was only two non-white players there. And that was Devdas and myself.
And then so you played against the Chappell brothers, Ian Chappell and Greg Chappell.
Yes, they were in that team.
Yo, and Derek Underwood.
Yes.
Yo, that's gun players. That was like, that's like a dream come true.
Yeah, but you must remember also when you play against players like that and you coming from other area, you know, from the other opposites, you know,
yeah.
And you think to yourself, you watch these guys on TV and now you're going to play with them, and you know, and you have that you think to yourself, am I good enough to play against these guys? You know, you start doubting yourself. But then afterwards, when the first ball is bowled, and you think to yourself, nobody can play these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm just as good as them. You know.
Yeah, you see, that is the structural racism that they always made people, non-white people, doubt themselves, and that is part of the structural racism. Like Lungi Ngidi, for instance, he wants Black Lives Matter, he supports Black Lives Matter, and so you should. And guys like Pat Simcox and Boeta Dippenaar was writing cuck stories saying that, oh no, all lives matters and stuff and what. Vince van der Bijl was the only guy that from the apartheid era that came out and wrote a Facebook post saying that he is with Black Lives Matters, because he understands what they went through, and he understands that we all need to be on it must be elevated, not better, but we all know white lives matters. We all know it. It's in the streets. We all know it. So we just want to let Black Lives Matter as well. So that's why I asked you the first question is, how is Vince van der Bijl? Who was the manager of that team?
He was a guy from PE. He was Bucks Barkley.
Bucks Barkley.
Yeah, he was the manager.
And how was Ali Bacha involved in that team?
I don't know if he was involved, but I just know that I had to stay with Eddie Barlow. You know. The first time I stayed now in a white hotel, you know, and then I felt so, you know, like you're not used to being here. You know what I'm saying? But
wait, stop right there. Start from overs. Start from the time you got selected to play for the invitational team, and how was that? What was going through your mind, and what cultural shocks did you come up with during that time? I'm not going to stop you. You must go for it now.
Yeah, no, the first one when we got selected, it was, I didn't want to play because, you know, my alliances with Sekos, you see? So I didn't want to play. So, but I was playing professional soccer at that time, you see? And professional soccer was involved with Sekos Federation, you see? And then we played this game. So I was captaining P United, the Pro League, and I was playing now cricket. So I couldn't have it both ways, you see? So what happened, I think the reason why they put me with Eddie Barlow was they knew I was going to get phone calls from the non-racial people, you see? And they probably blocked me somehow, you know? Said, don't let that guy get phone calls because he might just leave, because I was like, get out of, if my Secos people had to phone me to say, Bravo, get out of there, I would have walked out of there without even thinking, you know. But then, of course, Devda said he's going to play, you know. He wasn't, he said to me, no, he's playing. So I said, look, but nobody, you know, I didn't even get one phone call to say, get out of that hotel. And we arrived at the field. First thing I said, this non-white signs must come off. That time, Minister of Sport was Peter Chernoff.
Yes.
I said, take off the non-white signs. I'm not going to play. So they removed that signs, right? And then I eventually, you know, I felt so nervous just sitting there with all that, with that big crowd, you know. And then I played. But if I had to get that call from any of the Secos people, I would have pulled out of that game. That is one of my regrets.
Okay, so I understand you. If you know better, you do better. At the time, I also probably would have made a similar decision. What I'm trying to point out is that even then, they try to protect their privilege by putting you with Eddie Barlow so that Eddie Barlow can sort of protect you from Secos and basically continue with this game as if nothing is happening. So I just wanted to highlight that structural, the structural, I wouldn't call it racist, pathology of how to keep the people in place. So you were nervous, obviously, because where did you stay at that time?
We stayed in the Marine Hotel.
You stayed in the Marine Hotel, but not for the game.
Where I was staying. I was staying at my parents' home in Coston.
So you come from Coston and you go to this hotel where there's no non-whites allowed, and you and Dev is probably the only two non-whites there. How was that?
Well, I don't know, but I somehow they made us feel at home, and you know, we didn't feel out of place, because maybe that was, you know, the protocol. Look after these guys, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so they didn't make you feel like you don't belong there.
No, not at all. You know.
But did you yourself feel that you belong there?
No, I didn't feel. You know, because
so you be honest, okay?
Yes, I'm honest. I didn't feel that I belonged there because of the situation that was happening in the country. You see. You see. So I didn't feel at home, but because we were taken by our cricket union there, and me being a sportsman, also followed. You understand?
No, I understand. I understand completely. So you probably played with my uncle, Uncle Tiffy Barnes.
Yes, I played against him. Played for Transvaal.
Yes, you played with Transvaal. And my other uncle, Buta Hashim. Now, I think Buta Hashim is a bit older than you, but Buta Hashim also played for Transvaal at the time. But I think you were after that. Uncle Tiffy was still playing when you were playing. And then I remember there was a game that you guys played, I think in 1972 or 73. It was Eastern Province versus Transvaal, and you scored 80-something in that game. But the significance of that game is Basil de Oliveira played. You played with him in the same game as well, or for a season, basically played with him.
Yeah, no, he was my captain.
Yeah, so tell us about that game. Tell us about Basil de Oliveira, Dolly. For the people that don't know, if you are cricket fundi and you don't know who's Basil de Oliveira, then you should. I don't know. Then you're not a cricket fundi. If you love cricket and you don't know who's Basil de Oliveira, and then I don't know, you must go drink. I don't know, not Mampuru, Mbiza, because Basil de Oliveira is one of the greatest colored cricket players ever. Actually, one of the greatest cricket players ever. If you just look at his record and what he has done. So he was the guy basically that went to England, got selected for England, was made England captain, and sports boycotts basically started because of Basil de Oliveira. Tell us, how is Dolly as a person, firstly, and how was it to play under such a legendary person? Because now I am getting goosebumps just speaking to you knowing that you played with Basil de Oliveira. Tell us about that, man. Bravo, Jacobs. Yes, now I'm sort of getting happy here.
No, Basil came down from, he was in England and he came down here and he got a coaching post here by EP. And he was coaching EP. And then, look, I was also in the team, you see. And we went somewhere the night before. I was with, I was still young. So they took me with. And then afterwards, when we were, I had a couple of beers and I was sitting in the toilet. I would say, kom ons in Afrikaans, I say flooring. Then he woke me up.
Jy kan Afrikaans praat. Kyk hierso, ons gaan subtitles sit. Jy kan Afrikaans praat.
Yeah, and then he said to me, look, where are you? So, and I shouted out of the yard, I'm here, Basil. So he said, score Janet next morning. Then the next morning came, right? And then he came in, right? And they got him out. First ball, Gertje Williams got him caught behind by Bremer Fredericks. So he scored a duck. And then I managed to score 40, I think it was 40 or 33, I'm not sure. But anyway, so I said to him, sing jy Basil, jy ken nie meer die laities Betty. En jy moet make sure om te gaan slaap, maar jy moes gaan slaap en jy kry first ball. So now he was actually really a great motivator. He plays the game hard and what a brilliant batsman, brilliant. Learned a lot from him.
Where you scored 84 in the second innings, he scored 180 something in the first innings. He scored 182 out of a total of 372. So he basically scored half of the runs.
Yes, that was a beautiful innings. Look, I can tell you how I actually came about where I got a little bit of confidence because I was young and then they had a party for Basil. And I was also at the party, the EP players. And now I'm young and I got first innings against Transvaal. I got 8. 2 shots through the slips, lucky shots through the slips. But then he went, so we had this party. This one, Mr. Nell, Morris Nell came to me as a selector and he said to me, you think you can play cricket? So I said to him, he said to me, you think you can play cricket? So I said, well, it's not my fault. You select me. You think I can play cricket. But anyway, I don't know where it must have been the beers. I said, I'm going to show you tomorrow. So I went to Basil and I said to Basil, I want to open a batting tomorrow. We played Transvaal. And then got Transvaal all out. And I was sitting in the Adcock Stadium. I was sitting on the steps and going up and up and up and up. So I just heard Basil's voice coming from the dressing room. Waar's hy like now? And then I said, ek is hier so Basil. He said, come on. Jou bek geslaan, jy het gespoel. Jy gaan nou open. And I opened and I got that. I was knocked out. I still said to him, Basil, if you feel, you must declare. I don't worry about my 100. Declare if you can win the game. So that is how I remember that game. And with him.
Okay. So that was the Dadabai trophy, right?
Yeah, Dadabai, yeah. Dadabai.
Yeah, that was the Dadabai trophy. So the guy is it Neville Francis that played with you?
Yes, RMP. They call him RMP.
RMP, Neville Francis. Was he the same guy that was on Robben Island?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Because there was a guy, a Francis guy that was on Robben Island. Okay, no, lekker. Because that Transvaal team, I remember, is Abu Manak in him. Abu Manak and Tank Bulbulia in him. Yes, Bulbulia in him. I don't know if you remember those oaks.
Yeah, but you see now, that team, there was a split in Transvaal.
Yes, I remember that split. Yes.
That wasn't their best team.
Yeah, because Uncle Tiffy wasn't in that team. Uta Hashim wasn't in that team. Hussein Ayub.
Yes. So when we maybe that's why I got that 88. But okay, I you know what I'm saying. But I did when we played at Lens, and all those guys were back. Then I got 100 there. You see, with Kenai, with Rowan Kenai was there.
Rowan Kenai, yeah, Rowan Kenai, Hussein Ayub, Butadullah Rubic.
Yeah. Is that Solly
Chotia, Duli Rubic, Chotia, and Musa Mangera.
Abdul Bamji, Chicken
Up-
Bamji,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Chap Garda.
yeah, there was a
Yeah,
guy
and
that played
Uncle TV Barnes.
Tiffy. Yeah,
Yes,
he was there, Tiffy.
yeah, he was in that
What's
team.
his name?
George
Uh,
Langa.
and that spinner. Um,
Un-
is it?
Uncle Kitiki Abrams. Indian spinner or
Yeah, he's Darkman.
oh, Motorbike. Hey, Motorbike. They used to
Yeah,
call him Motorbike.
yeah,
Yeah, I forget his name now. Uncle Abu Manak.
yeah, that's Abu. Oh, he was a medium pacer.
He's
He opened
medium.
the bowling. He opened the bowling. Yeah. No,
Okay.
they had a good team. They had a good team.
Yeah,
But
they had
they were even
Amin
better.
Akalwaya. Are you speaking about Amin Akalwaya?
No, not him. I can
Okay.
tell you. Is it now? What's his name? Mangera.
Musa Mangera. Musa
Musa
Mangera.
Mangera.
Yeah,
Musa
Musa
Mangera.
Mangera. Yeah,
Yeah.
Musa Mangera.
Yeah, he was also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Musa Mangera. Yeah. Yeah, that is that team. That's a quite team. Solly Chotia, Amin Akawaya, Musa Mangera, George Langa, Hussein Ayub.
Abdul Bamji, captain.
Abdul Bamji was the captain. Yeah, Abdul
And
Bamji was the captain.
Chicken Bamji was a wicket keeper.
Who?
Chicken, the brother, Chicken.
Yes,
Bamji.
yes,
Very
yes.
good. He was good at opium. Good.
But Uncle Kitiki Abrams. Uncle Kitiki was also there.
Yeah.
Kitiki, Nadim Abrams. He was the only him and Uncle Tiffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was your cricketing. Yes, I can speak to you about this the whole entire day. But but you were basically better at soccer, apparently. Apparently,
It's very difficult for me. I can't say other people judge. You see, you can't judge yourself.
No, but the people that saw you and know you, they were like, you could have played soccer for Liverpool. You could have been overseas. But you choose, I don't know if it was the unrest period here in South Africa. Yeah, actually tell us about how difficult it was to actually play soccer that time or play sports at that time.
You see, I think we grew up in an area similar to like District 6, man, here in Southern, where you have a lot of activity and you used to play in the streets. You kick ball and you play. This one is playing here. Every corner you see people playing, children playing. And we grew up in that era, you see, and we don't find that anymore. It's completely opposite to what's happening now.
But it's still like up until recently with guys like Ashwell Prince and Dane Clayton, they were also speaking very fondly about how lucky it was to play in the community, specifically in the Calvindale community. So you started your football career when you were quite young. How old were you?
Oh, very young. I must have been about 7 or 8, round about there. But then you could only play under 13.
Okay.
So you always play with big guys, you see.
Right.
I always go and watch the guys play five-a-side. And when they're short of a goalkeeper, they haven't got a goalkeeper, and I say, I'll play goalie, then they put me in. You see, that is how I became to play with the bigger guys. Because we learn from them, they're your heroes, what's happening.
Nothing. I think what's happening is we were going over time and then they just upgraded our time a bit more.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because you were speaking so lekker. No, because you were saying you were like, so as a 9-year-old, you were playing under 13.
Yes. Because you see what happened? I was very scared of my mom, you see. And she didn't even know I was playing soccer, you see. And the same with the cricket. The guys, there was a shop on the corner then, and this guy said, my brother gave me a bat, a Len Hutton bat. And then, my late brother. And then he said to me, he gave me this bat, and I started practicing. Now, in our street, it was a street that goes down. If the ball goes down, it goes into the drain. Now you must hit up. I'm a right-hander now. I learned to drive into the covers. You see, I must hit uphill. So that is why I'm good in what's name. But with soccer again, the guys came to my mother's house to ask if they can take me to the meeting. So my very first meeting, is now big guys, you know, and I'm thinking, yeah, those sport. But anyway, I went there. The club's name was Swallows,
Yes,
right?
Swallows FC, right.
Yeah. And then went to the meeting. Everybody, that particular night, they were electing captains,
Uh,
you see.
uh,
So they call for nominations for captain, you see. So this
uh.
guy took me to the meeting, hit me in the ribs, you see, and said to me, say you will captain us. So I like a fool got up and said, I will captain us. Then they all laughed, you know.
uh,
And then I look back at it and I think to myself, well, you know, most of the sports that you played, you were captain. So
uh,
I got up that particular day. But that's how, you know, I started playing because I used to go with my church shoes to go and play.
uh,
Tell my mother found out that I'm in the EP team. You see,
uh.
so that is EP team, and then they realized that this boy can, you know, he can play
Yes.
football or something, you know, and they encouraged me, you know.
Who? Tell me about Lenny Knup.
Lenin up,
Oh, Lenny Knup.
yeah, yeah, he was our chairman. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lynette, yeah,
From which club now?
Swallows.
From Swallows. Okay. And then you went to South End High.
Yes.
Lekker. And then after that now, and then did you change clubs after that?
Yeah, well, there you see, like when we were staying in Southend, if you friends, like I was in English class. You see,
Oh, thank for you. Yesterday. Engelse man.
no, and then what happened? What happened? You see, they always must say Afrikaans boys. You know,
Mm,
they're stout. And
yeah.
anyway, and I don't believe that, but I actually, you know, realized that in Southend. And I check, yeah, why is it always so in Afrikaans always so naughty, and English always is always yeah, you know, nice. So
The
anyway,
quiet
so
guy.
yeah, so anyway, so we uh, with soccer, played juniors, see for Swallows. Then you meet
Mm.
friends, yeah, at school. Now they're playing for that other club. Then you go join that club and you join them. You see, but I played like it's Swallows and then Blackpool, went to Blackpool, and then Paladins, and then
Okay.
from Paladins, we moved to to Coston, and then I
Now
still
tell
play.
me something. Why did you move?
No, that was we forced removal.
Oh,
Forced removal. Yeah,
uh,
no, it's
was it the
like
Group Areas Act that time?
Group Areas Act.
So you mean you had to leave South End and then you had to go to the northern suburbs?
Yes, yes,
So I
that's
don't
all.
understand. And this was recent. This was like last week. It wasn't like you're still alive. You still look young. So
Yeah,
that's an experience. It's not an experience that's 100 years ago. This is recently.
yes,
So the Group Areas Act came in recently. You guys were lekker there by in South End, like fairly middle classy, and then they move you to the outskirts of Port Elizabeth. And then now when people is like, oh no, give the land back, and then everybody wants to complain why. In the meantime, last week you were removed from where you were staying, and then now this week you say, can we go back? And then people is like complaining about that. In any case, that's a story for another day. When you were playing there by Palladians, who was there? Were Shaki Johnson and Anwar Abrams.
yes. No, they were all there. That was, you know, Huey Dixon, Sharky Abrams, Sharky the DJ.
Is he a
He was
DJ?
top DJ, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
and young ones are for D.
yeah, yeah. No, they were all they were older than me, but I used to move with them. You see, like to parties, discos, and things like that.
So Valentine Brink, was he like a guy that you looked up to?
Well, Valley, look, he's actually, how can I put it to you, man? He's a guy like us. He knows you, maybe you're valuable to him, you see. Then it's very difficult to get away from him, you see. He'll do everything in his powers not to, you know.
But
It reminds me of when I had to go play for Bluebells,
uh,
Dynamos, and for Swaraj.
Oh, this is here in Joburg.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
So
That's
they
Abdul
flew me.
Bamji's team. It was Abdul Bamji's team.
Yes, Ismail Pahad.
Ismail Pahad, yeah, and Asif Pahad, yeah, Uncle Eso, yeah.
And then you get
But for the people that don't know, Eso Pahad, he was one of the stalwarts of the ANC. He was actually minister in the presidency while Thabo
yes,
Mbeki was the president. And
yes,
Swaraj and Bluebells was there. So you see, my uncle, Buta Hashim, Rosie Rasdien, played, I think for college, against Bluebells in him.
yeah. No Bluebells like Swaraj. They
Yeah.
flew me up. You see,
Right.
they flew me to Lens, and then they wanted to sign me up because it was Derby Day that weekend. They played Bluebells, big Derby Day. Then I couldn't get my clearance. You see, same thing with Sundowns, same thing with Manning Rangers. Those clubs wanted me, but I couldn't go because PE didn't want to give my clearance. And I'm so sorry to say. You see?
Yes. So there was politics that time already.
Yeah, no, it's like you belong here by us. You our child. You know that type of thing.
That was PE United now, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And then you represented Eastern Province in the Kaji Cup. Yes. How old were you when you did that?
No, I was actually 1971.
So you were like 16.
Yeah.
17.
17. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cricket and soccer.
And then after that, you when you were playing for Blackpool, then you left Blackpool and then you went to Kelly's. Why did you go to Kelly's?
Right there now. That's also now another thing now. First we went to Booby and Miley. Miley Ajam.
Yeah.
And
Booby Solomon.
Booby, no, not Booby Solomon's, Booby Williams.
Okay, Booby Williams.
Yeah, he played for Bluebells, goalkeeper too, man.
Oh, yeah, Booby Williams. Yeah, I know him. Yeah. He was a coach as well.
Yeah. So anyway, where were we now with Booby and Miley playing for P City? And then got me to play there, you see. You see, so I had to go and play for them. And then I played 2 seasons there. I didn't like the type of football. They made me captain and all that, you know. The first game, they made me captain at coach of the club because he knew me through the professional, you see. But I didn't like the football because they play, you know, this long ball, and I don't like to play that type of ball.
So they were playing English football and you were Brazilian footballer.
I play carpet, shusha piano. You see?
Yeah, shusha piano. Chomosono.
Yeah. Yes. Screamer always says more shusha and piano. But where was I now? I was going to tell you about.
They were speaking about Blackpool, and then you went from Blackpool to Kelly's.
Yeah, no, to Kelly's, yeah. And then, of course, like Kelly's, when I went there, they were good players there. And then the first game we played, we drew no score. And there was one guy was Captain Arnie van Jaarsveld. We had John McKenna. He used to play professional soccer, good player. So anyway, he was coaching us.
No, John McKenna from Easterus.
No, I don't know if he was in Easterus or what, but he's a white guy. Yeah, English guy.
Oh, English guy. Okay.
Anyway, so he coached us, and then the first game, no score. Second game, we came to the training, and he says he's changing the captain before the training started. So he says he's making me captain now. So anyway, I thought to myself, yeah, you must be careful here now. You must tell these white guys now. Look here. So I said, I pulled my jersey, and I said, guys, you see this color? You see this color? I want you to respect this color. I didn't ask for this job. I was given this job. If I tell you run, you run. If you don't run, I tell the coach to take you off. Do we understand each other? Yes, Cappy. I say, okay. After that, no, every year, captain. I just made him understand, look here, don't judge me by my color, you know.
Right. So you played in the NSL back in the day, in the NSL for Highland Spurs. Was that a team called Highland Spurs?
Yes, I coached them. And I played coached and player coach. Yeah. Okay,
and that was like, did they play in the second division?
Second division, fighting for promotion, you know, to the first division. When I when I was coaching them, they stayed there for 2 years.
Uh,
We always ended up in the middle with no resources.
uh,
We even guys like Cape Town City, in Cape Town, things like that.
yeah.
But the moment I left, because my late wife was in Groteskeur, you see, and then
Okay.
the team went apart, really now.
Okay. So did you so did you play for did you play against Jomo Sono and Pirates and Sundowns? Did you play
Yes,
against them?
I played against Pirates and Sundowns. I played
Okay.
against Pirates at Orlando Stadium,
Uh,
right? Played them a knockout game there, right? That time it was unrest, you see,
uh,
and
uh.
then that stadium must have been about 20,000 people there, and I was captaining that team, Buddy
So
Kelly.
yes, Uncle Bravo Jacobs. So now you were telling me how you were playing against Jomo Sono and, for Pirates and him.
Oh no, that was on Orlando Stadium,
Uh,
and then we played for Hotspurs. I played for Hotspurs, and then
uh.
we played Zayn Musa and them
Oh,
Sundowns.
for Sundowns. Yeah.
Yeah,
Under
yeah.
Chiwali. Waya
Danny
Waya.
Duwali, Brixton Tower, all those
Yeah.
guys.
Daniel Mdao. Daniel
Yeah,
Mdao.
yeah, Daniel. Yeah, they had a good team. Screamer was coaching them.
Yeah, I remember that team. So Pirates that time had Ian Palmer and Brennan Silent. Is it that, Oaks?
Yeah, no. That wasn't Brendan Silent. It was I don't even know those guys' name. I just know
Hazel
the one.
Sprinter. Capsa Dance.
Capsa Dance played. Yeah, yeah,
Capsa
Capsa
Dance.
Dance.
And Easter Khomani.
Yeah, those are
Easter
the guys.
Easter Khomani. Easter Khomani. So no, lekker. Then so the people that don't know, you because I spoke to Andre Peters and he played Hawabo. Did you play with Andre Peters?
And no, Andre came afterwards after me.
Yes, okay. So he came after you, and then you captained Eastern Province to their first ever Hawa Bowl title.
Yes,
Um,
that's correct.
yeah, the Hawa Bowl title. What year was that?
Oh man, I 19. When it comes to years, I don't know, but I know
But
Kaya was vice captain.
oh, okay. So that was in the 78, 79 season. There.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it must have been there.
I think the
No,
78.
78, ne? So can I ask you this question? Did you ever have opportunities to play overseas?
Oh, only time was when I was playing at Kelly's, and then John McKenna's father said to me, "I he wants me to go play overseas."
Uh,
So I was 27 already. So I told him, "No, I'm too old to go play there. 27, you don't go that age when you go
of course.
overseas. You tell yourself, no." I said, "No, I'm 27 already. You know."
Uh,
And then I had that opportunity. I supposed to go to Lords, right?
uh,
With this one team that went there. So I couldn't go because of the soccer. So somebody else went in my place.
so did you still play? When did you stop playing soccer?
When I was 46,
Yeah.
I was coaching a team in Malabar in the Indian area.
Uh,
And
uh,
I went on I put myself on. They were,
uh,
I wasn't happy with their performance, and I went on, and then we actually beat them. I changed the whole game. I don't know at my
ah,
age, 46, I could
hey,
still do
hey,
that.
hey,
But I was
yeah. So
42. I was 42 when I played against Sundowns.
yo, so you basically the Gianluigi Buffon, the Gianluigi Buffon from the
Yeah.
South African. Are you still playing cricket?
No, only when I get friendly games, I'll play. You know.
You still get friends. Are you still involved with Galvandale Cricket Club or Galvandale
Yes,
Sports Club?
very much involved. Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So tell us about that. Tell us about that. How's that going?
that club is being run properly. It's got a good administration. The talent is coming from there. There's a lot of talent there in that club. And it's
Uh,
just, they've lost the league now about 2-3 years in a row, just by 1 point. So
oh,
they're very close. They're very close because the best team here is the varsity team, you see.
uh,
They win
uh,
every year because they have the strength. But our guys are coming up nicely.
Is
Our guys
Shafiq
are
Abrams
coming up.
the coach there by
Who's,
UPE?
who's this?
Shafiq Abrams.
Yeah, Ficky's team.
Yeah.
Ficky,
Okay.
I got Ficky to captain to come and coach us when I was at Aberdeen Cables.
Oh wow.
Yeah, then I
Soccer
got Ficky.
or cricket?
Cricket. Yeah, cricket.
Oh wow. Oh, Aberdeen. I know Aberdeen Cables is good at soccer as well.
Yeah, I know. I played for them too. Yeah, I worked there.
Okay, Aberdeen Cables. Okay, lekker. So you know Vicky,
Yes, very well.
and and
We grew up there together in Southend.
and do you know Russell Domingo?
Yes, very well.
Lekker. So tell me
Russell.
something. Is Mr. Simon still alive?
Yes, he's very much alive, Claude.
Yeah, how old is he now?
Hey, he must be 70 odd already.
Is it?
Yeah, he's quite the age.
So is he still involved there by Gavin there?
No, he's not involved. He walks his dogs around.
He just
now,
walks his dogs around.
Yeah, now he's not involved anymore. They actually
So
started that club.
yeah, tell me what type of influence did he have on your career and on your mindset? Let's not say career, mindset.
I tell you my experience with him. I was still playing for Daffodils, very young, and then I played against him. He was playing for Willow Grove, and then
Oh, wow.
Mr. Morgan, this Indian, my mentor, used to be our chairman because we used to have meetings here in Southend, and then every Sunday I was the only one at the meeting. There's no meeting. The meetings is called off. Guys don't come to meeting, you know. And then eventually with Mr. Morgan, I don't know where I'm drifting now. I was saying now with Mr. Morgan.
No, you were saying that you were telling me a story about Mr. Simon.
Yes, about Mr. Simon. Then Mr. Morgan told him, I've got a youngster here. You must see this boy, Claude, you see. And I was still young. I didn't even take notice of it. And then Claude always reminds me about that particular day, you see. He's really a gentleman, quiet, nice, well-spoken man. Really want to be respected. Want to be respected. I salute him. I salute him.
And tell me about Maurice Wilson and Philip Snyman.
Yes, no, that was the EP team. They walk every year into the team, those guys, you know. So it was an honor for me because I used to go and watch them play, you see. And then eventually I was in the team with them. So I couldn't believe that. How can I play with these guys now? I'm then now all of a sudden so young, and I used to watch them. On a Saturday, I go watch and I go up and I go and watch them play. And then eventually I played with them. I even then Morris captained him, you know, it was the other way around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you Captain Morris even. Yes, that's so fun. So tell me, is your brother still alive? Kuni?
No, I'm the only one left of the family.
Because earlier you did say that how Kuni gave you a Len Hutton bet.
Yes, he used to take me to the Crusader ground to watch the EP Natal, you know. By that time, I didn't much know about white sport and all that, you know. And I just went with and I watched and I see, oh, this guy cover drive, he plays a shot like this, you know. And you learn, you picked up, you know, because you could try those things, even with the football. Same thing. You know,
and then people that don't know, your brother, he played rugby, isn't it?
He played for Eastern Province, yes. He played flank.
Oh wow!
He played with Napoleon, Kasim Jabbar, those guys. Those are the guys he played with. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the white guys at that time was Danny Gerber in it.
Yeah, Danny and what's his name?
Lekker. So you still involved there are you coaching currently?
Yes, I'm coaching schools. I coach Greenwood, opposite St. George's Park.
Yeah.
Majority of the kids are black there, but it's supposed to be a white school. But most of the kids, I'm coaching them. I coach them soccer and cricket under 11 and under 13.
And that must be lekker.
Oh yes, enjoyable. Really.
Nee, quite. And then there were one last question. So what do you think? Earlier you said it's not like that anymore in Calvindale. Why do you think it's not like that anymore, like the way you grew up?
Yeah, well, I suppose because the closeness is not there, like we used to have in the past. Like in Southend, everybody knew that was Mr. So-and-so staying there, and Mr. Rasdien was staying over there, Mr. Jacob stays there, not like here, and nowadays, even the soccer now itself, when you go and watch the games, there's no support. In our time, when you used to have the stadiums were full, even if it was amateur football, but you don't see that. It's because the standard has gone down, right? And I think it's more to do with the society where the youngsters come home 3 o'clock in the morning, don't care about, I got a game on tomorrow, that type of thing, and
Yeah,
it's
but Uncle Bravo, you also had a drink and a drink or two back in the day. You were just explaining to me how Basil de Oliveira put you under
yes, I
pressure.
understand, but you must remember everybody is not the same. You see, you get guys that can handle, they switch off. Like I used to switch off. Now it's work to be done. I'm playing for my province, that type of attitude. You change your mindset. You forget about what happened. You can't be bubble ass. You have to be on your toes because people can see. So you override all that, That's what I
You
used to do.
you were saying it's not the same anymore because the standards um, is lowered. What is the standard you were speaking about? Is it the standard of the level of soccer or the standard of the level of the community?
No, I don't think it's the community uh, plays a big role in how you guide your child, And I think as far as the soccer is concerned, it's more to do with maybe coaching, not getting the right coaching, telling them the basics about the game, telling them, psychology part of the game, because that
Okay.
plays a big part in football. You have to have that, winning mentality. You have to tell yourself, we can do it. They have two legs, two pairs of, hands, fingers is the same. There's nothing that different to what that person is. So it's all about your attitude and your ability to fight,
So
That is,
I'm coming back to the community. So you're saying the community is not the same as, because in these interviews, I am trying to understand what is in the water, what is in the philosophy, or what
oh, okay.
makes Galvindale produce all these world class athletes.
Yes. You see, sometimes I say that a lot of guys, like, you look at your Garnets,
Mm.
your Robin Petersons, these guys are quality, they produced, and even Alvaro, guys like that, you should be proud of them because they come from humble beginnings, and they worked hard. And I think it's only hard work. My advice to the parents is put your child in sport, keep him off the streets, because that's where the things is happening nowadays in our society. It's out
You
there.
see, you see, it was easier for guys like Robbie P and Ashwell Prince and Dane Clay to be off the streets because it was easy. I think it sounds that it was easier for them to be involved in sports because the environment that was created for them was like that. Do you think that the environment right now in Galvindale is not conducive to sports?
I would say it is conducive, but maybe we're not marketing the thing properly, at school level, and maybe there's not enough people getting in, trying to get the children into the game because there's money in the game nowadays. Not like when we used to play, we used to earn nothing. I played for 35 rand a month, and then the next week the president used to come and say, "We got no money. We got no money." So I said, "No problem, as long as we can play the game." That is what playing against good players was important to us that time. But I think everything today is about money, you know, and some club owners are destroying this thing because they're paying the players to play for their clubs, you see. And this is where the thing comes in, you know,
So
and then
what
you
do you,
have,
so what do you think you need? Because we have to move on to professional. Everything is becoming professional. What do
yes.
you think needs to change so that we can go back to that community spirit where everybody is involved?
I think the best thing to do is to start coaching clinics. You know, you invite youngsters to the training. You keep continuously. It's got to be an ongoing thing. You know, not just for 1 week. It's got to keep on, and then you will see the interest. The parents will start coming to watch because in the past the parents used to come and watch their kids. You see, especially in our colored community. But nowadays it's not like that. You go on and you don't know where your child is going next minute after that. You see. You could be going with youngsters that is out of control, you know. So it's important that you keep a tap on them and follow them for their sport. And I think that's needed.
Okay, now you were saying, yeah, there was a good point that you made now. Do you think that crime and the circumstances, because I remember when I was growing up, my mother used to send me to the shop to go buy bread and not worry. Now I would never send my 18-year-old son to the shop alone
Yes, that's
because
what.
of he might get robbed, he might get stabbed, or he might get kidnapped, or I won't even let my daughter walk around alone. That's changed. Do you think that's changed? Because in your day, it must not have been like that. Because there must have been gangsters in your day. You look like you were a gangster, Uncle Bravo.
No, I was never a gangster. Now, listen, what I'm saying, you're quite correct because those days, like, we used to watch street fights. You see, guys, no knives. It was like a fair fight, you know. And then you have your circle of people standing around. This one supports that one, and that one supports that one, you know. Slanum, slanum. But that is how the people used to fight. But not nowadays. Nowadays, look at the apartheid government. We didn't have guns. Now everybody has a gun. You can't trust it anymore because it's dangerous. Like you said, don't send your daughter out.
Uh,
Don't
yeah.
send your son out, you know, because you
So
have to
you
be
say there
careful.
was bare knuckle fist fights back in the day.
Yes, yes. Well, that's what they saw in the movies, and that's how it, you know, they did it in the street, you know.
So if the one gang, so which was the big gangs when you were growing up?
Well, it was more like glamour. Like the Muslim guys had, they had, what was the name?
Picky and him. Picky and him.
Yeah, they called, yeah, Tiffy Abramson and
Mm.
Shafiq's father. They were Bullet Gang, and then you get um, uh, black, what black,
The the
yeah, they but
the
they had a
politicians.
name, but they always used to dress up. You see those
Ah,
guys, Muslims guys, they,
yeah. Very fancy.
yeah,
Very
they
fancy.
were, yeah, but you know, but
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't,
know.
it wasn't like a lot of
So it wasn't
gangsters.
really violence. It was more.
No, no, no. It was you could run in the street, you could go to the shop. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was one or two naughty guys, but it's but not like now. Now it's you can't trust nobody here because you don't
Yeah.
know. Next minute you look around and you're gone. You can go out by the door. You don't know if you're gonna come back.
So
That's how we
here's the
live.
thing. How did the respect evolve from your day up until now? Because I know when I speak to guys about you, they have this enormous respect. Ah, Bravo Jacobs, Uncle Bravo Jacobs. Like when I speak about Mr. Simon, even you proved it now that
Yeah.
you have this enormous respect for Mr. Simon.
Yes.
And like and you knew everybody in the community, so therefore you had to act a certain way because otherwise you will bring your family's name into disrepute, basically. Do you think it's still like that?
I don't know. I don't think so because simple reason is that I think the old school, our parents. I think I'm going to go to the parents. Parents were different. Parents used to be in strict control. Don't do that. Don't do that. You do that. Do that. That is right. That is wrong. Don't think our parents nowadays spending enough time. The child just says, "I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there." They allow that, And then in the end, they sit with their heads hanging high between their legs because you can't allow that. You know, that's where the children become pregnant. They do this, they do that, they get into gangs. No, our parents, strict. I mean, you could talk from yourself. How
Yeah,
probably
my parents was very strict. Like
yeah,
I'm telling you now. It's like,
no,
yeah,
definitely,
they were
definitely.
so strict. They can be strict for 5 children. Like the
Yeah,
way I was brought up, they were for the whole. We were very strict. I basically started to. I first my first sip of alcohol was probably in my second year of varsity. The
yeah,
first girl I brought home, I actually brought home. My mother only never even met a girlfriend. None of my girlfriends. So yeah, it was very strict.
yeah.
Even so, I also raised my children very strict. Extremely to a point where we're fighting. But at least now they understand why I'm doing that. I don't. So I can't pinpoint this. But why and how do you think that strictness went away?
I think it's where it starts here when they go to school. You know, you must also look at your teachers. You have the teachers walking into the house, into the classroom. They leave the children make a noise. There's no discipline, you see. It's about keeping the class quiet, you know, because you're there for a reason, and you're there to study, and you're there to improve yourself. So with distractions, you're not going to get far. And that is what happens. And that's why the child says, when you, instead of the parent telling the child nowadays, the child wants to tell the parent, this is right. But you've got experience and you know what is right and what is wrong. That is the biggest problem.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jacobs. Guys, I just want to say this is what was one of my favorite interviews because I've learned so much. And it was I was very excited to speak to a person that played soccer with Chomasono and Zayn Musa, and he played cricket with Bezel de Oliveira, Graham Pollock, Clive Rice, Vince van der Bijl. Very few people that can say that they shared a cricket field with Barry Richards, Graham Pollock, Basil de Oliveira on different occasions, and also play soccer against Orlando Pirates with Basil Steenkamp and Chomasono in it. And that person is from Galvindale. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? If you like this video, click subscribe. Let us know what you think about the comments of Mr. Bravo Jacobs, and comment here below. Thank you so much. I just want to wrap up. There's 3 things that he said was very important: respect, discipline, and to have good teachers. And all the interviews I've done so far, it seems to me that discipline and respect is 2 of the most important things for you to achieve certain things in your life. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Jacobs. Any last words?
No, I just want to the viewers, I hope you enjoyed our chat, and I hope that you subscribe to this, because I'm a bit nervous, and you know, and maybe I didn't do my best interview, but maybe there's the next time I'll do better. Thank you.
No, you did brilliantly. You did brilliantly, man, yesterday. Excellent. It was so nice. And hopefully we will do a long documentary about this, and we will definitely interview again. Thank you so much, Mr. Jacobs.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Audio Jungle.